Greetings, science peeps. This is Frank McDonald. I know we're at the point we are starting to kind of dust off our lesson plan books and getting ready for the new school year, and we will be starting under some different circumstances. But I wanted to remind you guys that your planning documents, your pacing stuff is up, and I want to remind you where it is and any changes that have been made up until this point. And then I'm also going to share with you as you guys are starting to get your minds right for the upcoming school year, the new model that is being used for secondary education. So let's start with first our pacing stuff, our planning documents. I'm here on my SISD, so I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and I'm going to go to the TRB. I'll go to the TRB, and under YAG/pacing, you will go down to science, and you will be able to find all your pacing guides for the year at a glance. So you can see they're here: 6th, 7th, 8th, biochem, and physics. You will also find, and let me show you an example of one of these. So I'll show you the biology YAG. That'll pop up in a PDF. Remember, this is the YAG that we put together at the end of last year, the beginning of the summer. We all agreed upon. This is updated. The only thing that's not updated, actually, to tell you the truth, is the instructional days. But the instructional days, they're not too far off. But we want to make sure that we are looking back at the new calendar that was put up. So there is a reminder that these are based on based on 90-minute classes. So we are going to be moving back to a block schedule. Well, I say back, but it's been years since we've been in a block schedule. But we are moving back. We are moving to a block schedule, so you can see a change within the days. So Unit 9, Animal Systems, when we looked at it originally, it was probably 10 days, and now or 9 days, and now we're looking at 4.5 class days because we were looking at these are block schedule. These are 90-minute periods that we're looking at. So what I did is I cut the number of recommended days in half, based on what TRS had recommended for us or what we had changed in the CAC. So you can see there is a difference changed here. So take note of that. So make sure you're aware of that. What else? Well, I'm going to go up here to the pacing guides. And I'm going to show you the pacing guides that we are using. And I'll just pull up 8th grade. Remember, we had agreed on a weekly pacing guide. And a change that I did make on this is that I had the dates. I had the week of July 27th. Well, the July 27th is out the window now, and IOs have decided to leave off the dates. So these are the weeks that we're working with. So you can kind of see how it would fit in for week 1. We're still doing scientific method, lab safety, that kind of stuff. We're going to have to be flexible because there is going to have to be some sort of learning window just to get acquainted with teams on both ends of the teacher and the students. So we may have to be a little bit flexible. We are going to be meeting in some sort of CAC. I'm not exactly sure of dates yet, but there will be some sort of coming together and meeting of the minds to determine number 1, 9 weeks assessments and any changes that we may need to make to pacing based on the new calendar. So there are pacing guides, and remember the update is just the removal of the dates. Also, I told you about the 90-minute model. And for some of you, I know that when I started teaching, I was teaching in a 45-minute model, and then I was moved into a 90-minute model. It became a little concerning. So what am I doing here? Let me exit out this, and I'm going to share this 90-minute model with you. Let me just do this from here. This will work. You guys will get the gist of it. So there is a 90-minute model training that you will be receiving during the 2 weeks of staff development. But I kind of wanted to give you a sneak peek for those of you that are starting to look at stuff right now. Essentially, this is a template. This is an outline of what you could do with your 90 minutes. Per district, there should be, we could start with a 10-minute anticipatory set where you could include a bell ringer, so some sort of review of the previous day. And then going into a previous day or previous content, anything along those lines. Let's see if I can, no, I'm still. Then going from there, you can go into the direct teach, which can be 20 minutes. So maybe this is your live portion. You could be on live with the kids, face to face, and you're doing teaching. You are actually teaching, whether it be PowerPoint, maybe a teacher-led Nearpod. Perhaps you were showing or some sort of demonstration in a lab type thing. That could be your direct teach. And then 30 minutes of independent practice, so where the kids are getting an opportunity to work on something by themselves. So that could also be an assignment that you've placed into teams somewhere, perhaps maybe a Nearpod that they're working on their own with. And then you want to have some sort of structured formative assessment. So coming back and checking to see whether or not they obtained what they needed to obtain for that day, and in a form of a quiz or an open-ended response or something along those lines. And then 10-minute reflection or closing. So that could be an opportunity to get the kids back together, speaking to them live, and kind of closing out the day, reviewing the day. These times it's a suggestion, but I found that classes, when working under the 90-minute model, when classes weren't planned from bell to bell, is when you tended to see issues, behavior issues pop up. So if we can get the kids in and we get them used to working from bell to bell 90 minutes, it's going to make life a lot more predictable for them, for us, and that way, you know, we stick to the teaching, and there's nothing. I'm not saying that there will never be behavioral issues, but it helps us. It helps everybody if we know what we're going on. Can these be adjusted? Can the times be adjusted? Of course. So I love the 90-minute model, because once we do get back into the classrooms, we will continue with the 90-minute model. We'll continue with the block schedule, and this opens the door for longer labs. So and we could kind of increase that direct teach or blend it in with the independent practice, and now we could have 50-minute lab in class, and then we could have them making their claims, they're providing evidence and reasoning for any discoveries that they found within that lab, and then you can have a closing, some sort of open-ended response, some sort of a conclusion that they've done with the lab. So this is great for science. So I'm excited about that. So keep in mind, I'm going to stop sharing this thing, and that way you can see me a little bit better. All the pacing information is up. All the everything that you would need to plan out your 9 weeks is up, ready to go. So if you need anything, you know where to find me. We are currently doing training in July. Today is July 20th, and we started planning today. So I can see that some of you guys have already signed up for my virtual strategies playlist in science. I'll see you there. Maybe some of you are in the 90-minute model, which we're training on with Dr. Baxter. Also doing Wear Your Pants, which is just basic virtual classroom expectations that you could set forth with your kids in order to make the learning experience and the teaching experience a lot more pleasurable. What else? What else are we doing? There's a ton of plannings of trainings that are going on. I know that they filled up quickly, but it is my goal to ensure that you guys don't go into the year without a new toolbox filled with new virtual tools to help you teach in this format. So thank you guys. I appreciate everything. I appreciate all your efforts. We're going to make this thing happen. It's going to be it's an exciting time for education, and we are at the forefront, and we get to rewrite what education looks like. So I'm happy to be on this journey with you guys. I'm excited to be on this journey with you guys. So let's make this thing happen. Bye.